Imagine living in a world where you have everything: wealth, luxury, a loving family, yet deep inside you feel completely empty. What if I told you that one of the richest princes in history gave it all up for something far greater? This is not just a story, it's a revelation, the transformation of a man who changed the course of history forever. But what pushed him to abandon his royal life? What shocking truth did he discover that made him leave everything behind? Stay with me till the end, because this is the story of how a prince became the Buddha. Siddhartha Gautama was born into unimaginable wealth. His father, the king, ensured that he lived in absolute comfort. He had silk robes, golden palaces, and the finest foods. He was trained in warfare, philosophy, and leadership, destined to be a great ruler. But there was one thing he was never allowed to see: the real world. His father feared that exposure to suffering would change him, so he built a world of illusions, a perfect kingdom where pain, sickness, and death did not exist. Yet, despite all the luxury, Siddhartha felt a strange emptiness. He had everything, yet something was missing, but he didn't know what. Until one day, everything changed. One fateful day, Siddhartha convinced his charioteer to take him outside the palace walls. What he saw shattered his entire reality. The first encounter: a sick man. Siddhartha saw a man suffering from disease, his body weak, his face filled with pain. Siddhartha had never seen illness before. He asked his charioteer, "Can this happen to anyone?" The answer: "Yes, my prince. Sickness comes to all." The second encounter: an old man, bent over with age, barely able to walk, his hands trembling. Siddhartha was shocked. "Will I become like this too?" His charioteer nodded. The third encounter: a dead man. For the first time in his life, Siddhartha saw death. He saw people mourning, crying over a lifeless body. His heart raced. "Is this the fate of all?" His charioteer answered, "Yes, my prince. No one can escape death." Siddhartha's mind was spinning. His world of silk and gold now felt like a lie. He realized that suffering was real, and no palace walls could protect him from it. Then he saw the fourth encounter: a monk, walking with nothing but a robe and a begging bowl, yet radiating a strange sense of peace. Siddhartha was mesmerized. Could this man hold the answer to life's greatest mystery? That night, he made a decision that would change everything. At midnight, while his wife and newborn son were sleeping, Siddhartha took one last look at them. His heart ached, but he knew he couldn't turn back. He left the palace, his wealth, his title, everything. He became a wandering seeker, searching for the truth. But the road ahead was far more difficult than he imagined. For 6 years, Siddhartha trained under the greatest spiritual teachers. He mastered their techniques, but none gave him the answers he was looking for. Desperate, he turned to extreme self-denial, starving himself, meditating in freezing conditions, pushing his body to its absolute limits. Yet, nothing. No enlightenment, only pain. Until one day he realized something profound. The truth was not in luxury, but it wasn't in suffering either. The answer lay in the middle way. Determined to find the truth, Siddhartha sat under a massive Bodhi tree, vowing, "I will not move until I discover the ultimate truth of life." For 7 days and nights he meditated, and then something extraordinary happened. His mind broke free from illusions. He saw the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. He understood the root of suffering and the path to true peace. At that moment, Siddhartha Gautama became the Buddha, the awakened one. The prince who once lived in luxury had now found the greatest treasure of all: wisdom. Instead of keeping this knowledge to himself, Buddha dedicated his life to teaching others. He revealed the Four Noble Truths, the secret to ending suffering. He taught the Eightfold Path, the way to live a life of meaning and peace. He showed people that happiness doesn't come from wealth, but from understanding and compassion. And his message spread like wildfire. Kings, merchants, and even the poorest of the poor came to listen. His teachings transformed lives. Even today, thousands of years later, his wisdom continues to guide millions. But let me ask you something. What if you were in Siddhartha's place? Would you have the courage to leave behind comfort to seek the truth? Would you dare to question everything you've ever known? And most importantly, are you truly happy with the life you're living? The journey to enlightenment doesn't start with Buddha. It starts with you. If this story inspired you, drop a Buddha in the comments and share your thoughts. Do you believe his teachings still apply in today's world? Let's discuss below. And if you want more powerful stories like this, make sure to subscribe to Motivation Life 2.0, because your journey to greatness is just beginning. See you in the next video. Stay motivated. Stay inspired.